Today we talk about this guy. Hello everyone, welcome to the show. This is Chester of Bad Puns, and today we talk about... Well, we already saw what we talk about, but to be more specific here, we talk about both secret bosses, or in my opinion, both halves of the secret bosses. How do we do that? We start with, well, who you just saw, with the little guy 8-bit one, who is a bit less of a spoiler, and then we of course go right into this second part, who is the big spoilers. Again, for those who didn't play chapter 3, I don't know why you even go in this video if you don't want to be spoiled, but again, if you don't want to be completely spoiled, you should now click off this video. And because this two-parted, like the second part of the secret boss, because in my opinion there are like two parts. The first part, the one where you get the armor item, and the second part, which is I think the hardest, and where you get the weapon item, you face the Roaring Knight. And you will also see kind of the Roaring Knight fight in the background later on. So again, if you still listened and now got this spoiler but don't want to see it all, then now please move on while I do my talkings. Okay everybody, here we are. As you see in the background, this is the fight I'm talking about. I will also hopefully put in the corner who this entire background recording is belonging to, since I sadly did not record me fighting that when I did, and I sadly I don't think even I have a save state I could even go back to record it, so I'm kind of screwed, but that's why I'm happy that we have other people doing the work for us, recording this constantly. But that doesn't matter much. The point here now is of course that this is the first part of the secret boss, or shadow crystal holders, however some say, or it's at least in my opinion this is the first part. Because in my opinion, I repeat myself, it's just simply that this is a two-parter shadow crystal holder. Normally when you fight a shadow crystal holder or a secret boss, I will just shorten it to that, they drop either an armor or a weapon depending on what you do, like either spare them or fight them, and I think it's self-explanatory what you get from which decision. And the point is, that's why it's my reasoning this is a secret boss split into two like parts. The first part is definitely this, the fight against Aram, or how at least some people call him, or even call him the Shadow Mantle himself. And well, no matter what you call him now, Aram or just Shadow Mantle, whatever, the big point here is of course that he is alone, despite the short appearing, an interesting character to kind of witness to, or has a big relationship to Chris and stuff, but I'm no lore expert here and no lore theorizer, so you can go to different videos for that kind of thing. But more or less this is about the fight, the little how you get there, what you do to get there a bit, and what I personally think about it. I will try to keep it short and brief in a sense to not overload myself with how much to cut and everything. And I don't want this video to be too much, since it's more or less just me rambling on about without much of a script, bullet points like written down in front of me, and I'm just following these bullet points to kind of keep a structure, but also I'm not the script writer in a sense here, a good one at that. So I cannot give you like a big essay, completely detailed, written down and read out on the freaking microphone here in front of me to dad and dad and dad and dad, you know. So this is more or less just my little personal rant, personal opinion, dropping it on you guys with this little in the background here, of course, and my little avatars here and there, and maybe some things blended in, and the little behind music here with me here in the green room mostly, or burning eyes, but mostly I decided for the boss fights I'll keep the music to surely the boss music, depending on who I talk, and in between has the green room stuff. So yeah. Of course, well, we will talk about now how to get there. I try to make it simple and short. I will not go in detail about it or the direction in between or much more the specifics besides one, but here we go. In short, you just have to clear both the first and the second board with an S rank. Before you start the next board, just go to the S rank room, talk with Rant, the plug boy. Nice one. And the one that many thought, who including me, thought that this would be the secret boss. Then afterwards, go just do exactly what Rem told you, just follow the line that you're given, finish the first game. Once it stops you, go back, finish board number 2, get S rank, go right back, play the second game. And once you finish that, you just have to continue the entire story until you get back to the more or less, I think it just called left alone studio or something. Anyway, afterwards everybody left the studio and you can just go simple without any next needed S rank into the board. You just go in there. You can go right back into the back room again, go to the big console, find Ram half petrified, telling you that they ramped it up one more time for you, and then you just go right into this. Do the same thing again, have your little game, even if a bit more creepy than before, like really creepy pasta at gaming wise. Then you just go follow the kind of path you're given, finish everything level to the max, and once you're there, you just find them yourself. And this is where the boss fight comes in. The boss fight itself is a simple old game style boss fight, or many say it's like Zelda but Deltarune. Either way, you have the simple boss fight, like dodge the bomb explosion, who are like having like Bomberman, just cross explosion everywhere. Just, you have a bit of a window that they, even if they explode, the cross explosion doesn't hit you directly or something, or get stopped by blocks. It's like shockwaves getting shot out by the bombs. Then you take care, of course, of the other attacks, which is more or less the fire attack. He just shoots down at you with speed and stuff. You just dodge it, and if you're good, you can just hit him while he's still in the attack, as long as you're like close to him, but not too close to get hit. Then you, well, go right to the other attacks, which is a fireball attack, who just shoots fireball, or makes like little fireball lines like with Mario that you have to just dodge and not get hit by. I mean, it also happens in Zelda. To be honest, this is a huge Zelda reference, this entire 8-bit gaming section, or a reference to the old RPG games, whatever. And then, of course, you have the friend summoning, or people call him friend, the one with the creepy smile, the cat-like one. He gets sent out all across the field, you kill him, or else he gets you damaged by just touching you. If you kill him though, he can have a chance to drop healing items, which is good since not everyone is a pro hit gamer like the footage I took for the background. Then afterwards you kind of are done. This is the one part I have to mention here. Once you beat him and get to the part where he gives you the shadow mantle, this is when it gets interesting, because he puts it out of reach for your 8-bit Chris to reach it, so you can suddenly leave the entire screen, go around it, go to Chris and do whatever you want, either walk towards him, just leave the field, or attack him even without much, just to scare him, even though in my opinion, or in my playthrough, I just walked towards him and then it just automatically left the screen. But point is, after this happened, Chris itself can enter the game to get the shadow mantle for you, and this is how you get the first item. Simple as that. There's a bit more deeper lore implications here and stuff, but again, I'm not here to ramble on about the entire lore. It's just my little personal opinion giving and little short talk about it. Simply, I love this boss fight. It was hard, but not too hard. It was a bit complicated, but not too complicated. It's this balance where I just think some people who literally thought this is the only secret or shadow crystal holder in this chapter is like, yeah, a bit underwhelming, and yeah, I got the item, but where's the big fight I'm promised? Even though in my I say it a lot in my opinion, but it's just, for me, it's simply good. It's not the best, of course, but it's good. But that's why I call it the part 1 of the Shadow Holder Crystal quest. Because, as I said, after the small little mantle or shadow creature, whatever, we reach a point where you hear roar and see the night approaching. I leave this in. But as I said, you hear a roar and the night is approaching. This is the night. Nobody expected him to be the chapter 3 final boss and maybe more or less the second half of the secret boss. It's quite incredible, to be honest. And I really was like thinking that I would sit weeks on this boss, but personally I at least set only kind of 2 days or a single day on it, but my tries were around the 30s surely, because yeah, this fight is hard. Of course, there we had already the no-hitters coming in and beating that guy now apparently every day until chapter 5 comes out. So that's fun for them. Meanwhile, for me, this fight was frustrating as heck, but also fun. Like, it's weird. I have this weird kick I get from these fights, in a sense. It's almost like I hate losing it. I hate being so frustrated about it, having to go through these attack patterns, but it also, once you're done, gives you this real feeling of accomplishment. Yeah, jester. Doing something hard and feeling this victory after all your work you did feels rewarding. We know that's a typical reaction. And I know it is, but like, still, despite you knowing you get this satisfaction, you still feel great about it. Like, damn, it feels great. Like, the attacks are not that bad. Like, yes, they are made to be difficult on first try and multiple other tries, but once you get the muscle memory for it, once you figure it out, you have a much lesser damage intake. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it, I think. Simply, I do just hope that we of course don't instantly have another boss this hard, because I feel like Gerson was such a good break afterwards. And this, like, after we had the fight tonight and everything, it was just so chill, in a sense. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have any difficult fights anymore, but like, you know, I hope that the next time we may fight the knight, maybe won't be as hard, but maybe it won't be as hard anymore. The attack will be the same, you know? Like this typical, it's normally a scripted loss, so it could be that it's the same attack pattern again, and everything, just for those who maybe didn't figure out that you can still beat them or something. Even though I think everybody did already at this point. But imagine you go in there, and of course, when you already finish this fight, you go in there and you have an easier time. Because you're stronger, you have more HP to work with, you have maybe even more items that gives you defensive proposition for this one. More like the Shadow Metal just for a different party member, or for everyone apparently, or something later on. I don't know exactly, but just imagine, it would be so cool. Suddenly, just if you beforehand just got beaten by him and stuff, and or had the hard time of your life fighting this fight, imagine next turn, boom, next fight is hard, but it isn't as hard anymore. It would surely feel freaking rewarding for everyone around here. So, again, the night fight is incredible, I say. And to be honest, besides the background thing what you see in a fight, the tension it has, the emotion it gives, the way you might sometimes feel when you finally reach through the final attack and get that satisfying hit with Susie or something at the end, it feels so good. I was literally completely panicking inside, like, please don't crash now, please don't crash now, when I finally got this fight done. Of course, some expect me now to maybe go in depth about how the moves work, how the knight is, the lore-wise, how he's that and this, but I feel like, just to give you this raw take of, I was completely flabbergasted and out of breath when I finished this fight. This fight was literally the way I can describe how it feels for people like me who are not that skilled but can go through such battles. It really helps. It really does. So, yeah, I just say that this is kind of all I'm saying about it. I think you should really play this chapter yourself, or if you played it, you can talk about your experience. How did you, what's your opinion about Burning Eyes? The Shadow Mental boss, not the theme. Or about the knight appearing, maybe if you weren't spoiled and stuff, how did you react? How did you feel when you finally faced them? Yeah, just all of these kind of opinions. And that's kind of all of it. If you have anything more to state about this, write something in the comments. I would love to kind of hear what was your reaction towards the little Shadow Mental boss. And what was your reaction when the knight appeared? All of these kind of things, you know? Just whatever is on your mind in a sense. Well, for me, again, you already heard my opinion. I like these two, and in my opinion, there are two secret... Not really two secret bosses, but one giant secret boss in two halves. One where you get the armor item, and one where you get the weapon item. So, yeah, what was your opinion? Do you maybe agree that you think those two together were the entire secret boss and not just the Shadow Mental on its own and the knight was just this extra and stuff, but... Oh well, point is, I hope you liked me ranting on, and if you listened this far, then thank you very much. I hope I maybe see you again to the next performance, and I do wish you a great day, morning, or maybe even night. Bye bye!